I never get my own thing.
Well, we all know the rules, so.
And then my mom has to go to actually wait for me for dinner this time. Amen.
Welcome to Improving Parent-Child Relationships. In this episode, we'll be visiting with Juanita, Miguel, and 9-year-old Devante. Juanita has raised Devante by herself since he was an infant. More recently, Juanita married Miguel, and they are sharing a family life. Devante is testing Miguel, who is in the process of establishing himself in the family. Juanita and Miguel know they won't agree about everything, but they are working on being mutually respectful and supportive, which shows Devante how to be cooperative rather than powerful. Juanita and Miguel are both working on giving Devante attention when his behavior is appropriate, which can be fun for everyone. They are also working on not giving Devante attention when he is demanding, unreasonable, or disruptive. As we begin, Miguel and Devante are spending some time at home together.
You have homework today, Devante?
No, I did it at school. Huh?
Again.
Dang it.
When you play you other game?
What other game?
The rabbit one?
The Bugs Bunny? So I can show you how to beat it? Beat the whole game?
You're not supposed to.
Hmm?
You're not supposed to play those kind of games.
I can't play my Mortal Kombat 3. Okay. I'll show you how to beat the whole game.
No, I'm cooking right now.
What is?
Huh? I'm cooking. So.
About the game, how sure were you that he wasn't going to be allowed to play it? Pretty sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he can tell when you're pretty sure about something? Yeah, I think so.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's why he didn't argue with you, because he can tell when you're not going to argue about something, and then he doesn't argue with you.
Yeah.
But I think there may be times when each of you is not so sure about what the rule is, and then he thinks, oh boy, now I can go back and forth a bit. What about cooking, since that is something that you do? I've seen several times now that you've been cooking. Is that something you think he might like you to invite him to do? Would he cook with you?
Yeah, maybe he's invited, but I never asked if he want to help me to cook because he's missing stuff around. He don't
makes
do
a
whatever.
mess.
Yeah,
He's not a
this is
skilled
why.
helper. So you might want to be somewhat selective, careful about what you ask him to do. If it's something that can make a big mess, maybe not for a while. But if it's something that's a little simpler, it might be a good thing to invite him because it's something that he sees you do. And I think it's sort of good time to be together. Say what is expected with confidence and then follow through. Invite children to help whenever possible. Have reasonable expectations.
Hello. Where's Devante? You play in the light.
Huh?
You need to play in the light.
Why?
Because it's not good to play those games with it being all dark. Can you pause it for a minute? Hey, bud, turn it off. You gotta set the table. Are you hungry? Hello?
Yes, I'm hungry.
Then turn it off and come set the table so we can eat, please.
Okay, Mom. No, I want it. Just about to beat that game.
When you come in, you notice that he's playing his video game in a dark room, which isn't good for vision. Is this a conversation you've had before with him, or is this the first time he's ever played in the dark?
He tries to play in the dark. He likes it because he could see the TV better, he says. But I don't know if it's good for vision or not. I just don't think it's good to
I think from now through many years to come, you and he are going to have differences about what's good and what isn't. I honestly don't know whether being in the dark is a bad thing for eyes or is it okay or whatever, but in that kind of situation, at some other time than when it's going on, it might say, you know, this is something that we experience repeatedly. It looks like we both have an opinion about it, it's different. How about we call an optometrist and ask? I mean, so you kind of get into the thing of, instead of kind of who's right, it becomes, well, let's find out. And then he becomes the one that finds out. Because in life, I think it's a good idea to find out what you need to know. Right? I mean, so that's kind of one thing. But let's suppose that playing in the dark room really was bad for your eyes, that you're right about this, because you're going to be right about a lot of things, right? I mean, you're older, you have judgment, you know Morse is the way it is. And that he's doing something that he really shouldn't be doing. And it's something that he's heard you say before, because what I get from this isn't the first time you've told him. So now he's got you in an interesting situation, because all he has to do to kind of get undue attention from you is just do whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And most of us then fall into telling him that's not what you should be doing, and then he can just give it up, or he can get into a power struggle. I think here he kind of gives it up pretty easily, or you turned on the light. But it does feel like just a little bit of a trap, doesn't it, to get him to tell you something he already knows. What do you think would happen if instead of telling him, you asked him? Do you think he would know?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think the more that you kind of get things from him about what he knows, the less you'll have to tell him anything, because your confidence in what he knows will go like this. Yeah. And then I think in terms of him feeling respect, I think children do feel respected when they think we know. Maybe they've just forgotten. You know, you could say, what have you forgotten to do here? Or should the light be on and off? Or any of those things where it kind of comes from him instead of you telling him. If a disagreement is over a fact, find an authoritative source for the answer. When children know what to do, express confidence in their capability. Avoid unnecessary explanations.
So what are we having?
Food.
Nada.
Food. Yeah.
Popcorn.
Popcorn?
Popcorn with banana.
What are we having really, Mom?
Popcorn with banana.
You want a soda, Miguel? You want a soda, Mom? I know I want one.
I don't drink soda, you know that.
But Devante, can you wait until you have the dinner?
I know.
I don't let him drink soda when he got home. You say that you didn't
I never get my own thing.
Well, we all know the rules, so.
Yeah, Mom, but how come it's like this? How come I never get to have popcorn and Miguel always does?
When did Miguel have popcorn?
Today. He's been eating in my face for 2 days.
For 2 days.
Yes.
2 days? When you saw me eat popcorn?
I know you ate popcorn yesterday at night.
Yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday at night.
Yesterday night, what time I ate popcorn?
Devante, we went to dinner with George last night, okay?
Today in the morning, I'm not funny. Today,
and don't give me the head like that.
Today, he made some popcorn
and he was
eating it in front of my face.
And I gave it to you, and you was mad with me.
I was gonna grab it and he said fine.
So he offered to give you some popcorn?
Yeah, he offered.
Well then stop it.
Offered to give
Stop it right now.
I'm trying to.
No, if he offered you popcorn, Devante, then
fine.
Just try to tattletale.
I'm not. I went to go and grab it and he just took it away from me. How do you like that?
No, because you don't take them.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. How do you like it?
Devante, that's enough.
Fine.
It is so much easier to look back than to, at the time, figure out what's going on. What do you see here that means something to you?
I see they're both ganging up on me. Because they both want my side of it.
So they're kind of seeing you as the judge of this. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I mean, it's hard to know in that progression of things where to not be involved with it, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And so it might be easier not to be involved in it at all. And this takes some practice, I think, because I think it's one of those things that you don't see you're involved in it until you're pretty well involved in it. And then you think, here I am digging down to who had which kernel of popcorn when. And there's a point at which I could see that you decide, enough, I don't care about this popcorn. So the skill is I think, learning early on, when am I being invited to participate this, and do I get the hint of anything that has to do with fairness, anything that if we were, I guess maybe tattling on each other, that kind of concept, that here I'm at a decision point where I can get into it a little, a lot, or not at all. I think it's easier not to get in at all. I mean, what would happen if you were to say in this kind of situation, I don't know what the two of you do when I'm not home. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Sometime when it's not going on, you might talk with Devontae about it and say, Devontae, I want you to know that I'm really, really happy about how you and Miguel are doing. It makes me very happy to see you do well. And there are a couple of things that I see that I've been doing that aren't helping. And one is sometimes I get between the two of you a little bit. And I'm going to work on not doing that, because I think that won't help the two of you. But I want you to know it's a little hard for me to stay out of things, because I do have ideas about what is fair and what is right and how things should be done. I think you know that, right, Devontae? But I'm really going to work on it, because I want to give you guys a chance to work things out. And I know you can. I mean, load of confidence here. I know this is something you can work out. You don't need me to settle who had how much popcorn. I think they don't. Hard not to be needed, though. Yeah.
Avoid getting in between others' disagreements. Withdraw if caught in an argument. Express confidence in others' ability to work it out.
See that, Mom? See that? You're making fun of me.
I don't make fun of you.
Yes, you were, Miguel.
I'm dancing?
No, you're dancing. You're dancing like that. Saying ha ha ha.
I don't do ha ha.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
No, look.
See, I knew you were. You were. You were. You were.
Mama was done like that.
Since you're chuckling, I guess there are things that you see. What do you see looking at this?
I think maybe he wanted to help with something that we were doing, maybe.
Devontae did. He wanted to participate.
Yeah, I think he wanted to be involved in what we were cooking, or what he had already cooked. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, you could go read a magazine, let them do it. Yeah, I think I see that too. He wanted to be involved, and again with you. I mean, he wants to be involved with you. In the beginning, he tries just a little tattling to get involved, but I think you do pretty well with that in terms of resisting getting involved with it.
Provide opportunities to be constructively involved. Avoid responding to tattling.
Don't drink.
Drink the
That's
water.
the water. Don't you want to
Do you
drink
see
it?
the people? Look. Water. Quit they want to drink that.
Well, you're the one who said.
Look, the water's gonna follow on.
He wants to help, and somehow or other he gets the job of carrying the radishes, whatever it is, in water to the table. And I'm thinking what you said earlier, Miguel, about, it's great to have him help, but he does make kind of a mess. So this is one of those situations where it's nice he wants to help, but he's going to spill the water all over, right? So you seem a little concerned about that, right?
He didn't really get to take it to the table by himself.
Yeah. If he had spilled the water, let's assume, let's just think for a minute that he carried it over and it didn't go very well for him and there's water. What would you have done about spilled water?
Make him clean it up.
Yeah, I don't know about make, but I think, that would have been it, that he could have cleaned it up. And so, I don't know, in those situations it's hard, isn't it? Because we all approach things with a certain amount of urgency, like if this happens, that won't be good. And really, a little spilt water be okay. It's different than something where there would have been real damage done. But I think they always see that anxiety in us, don't they? Where they think, oh. So it would be interesting to know whether he was really an unskilled carrier, which is possible, or whether he may sometimes do things like that just because he knows you're a little concerned about it. But in either case, it sort of makes sense to pull back a little bit, because the way he'd improve his skill is by doing it. Or if he's getting you hooked on being worried, then pulling back lets that work out too. And then from the point of view of wanting to help, I mean, there are a lot of things that when kids first start doing them, they're not very good at doing them, are they? I mean, they're kind of messy. So, Miguel, if you had life to live over again, would you let him carry it to the table and not worry about the water? Yeah, it'll come up again. Life has a lot of repetition. Yeah. It's a little thing, but I think that's how they get some confidence, too.
Encourage children to do things for themselves. Let children experience the consequences of their own actions whenever possible.
So did you get any warnings this week?
No. None warnings.
No warnings? None at all?
Yeah, none.
You mean you're actually going to get almost the full amount of allowance this week?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. That's great, bud.
I get my allowance
You
tomorrow.
knew that, Miguel?
Hey, Mommy,
He
can I
actually
eat?
gets $9.50 this week.
Can I eat?
We're at the crossroads of sort of positive or negative expectations about people, you know, in terms of what may happen. You know, when he's carrying the water, I guess the negative expectation is it may spill all over the place. The positive one is, well, you know, he might get to the table, or he might spill a little and he'd be able to clean it up. There's a place here where you're surprised about the grades and said, well, I'm surprised. But you were surprised because you had a different expectation about what he would do?
Well, he's been getting a lot of warnings in class, talking out of turn, and he didn't get any warnings. So, and I should expect that he don't get any warnings. And
yeah, okay, you're getting what I mean. That's that kind of being at the crossroads where you convey a lot to him. On the one hand, I'm surprised you did okay, versus that's really nice that you did so well, because again, it's kind of conveying to him what you expect. I think children live up to expectations, and sometimes they live down to them. And so that's just something I think to kind of watch.
I know that he asked me, can he eat before we were we were ready to sit down,
And what'd you say?
told him that he needed to wait.
Well, and just taking that little piece, if you could live life again, which you'll get to, and he says, can I eat before it's time? What would you say?
You tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Can you? Yeah. Yeah, you really fast learner. You got this one.
Have positive expectations. Don't tell children what they already know. Ask only when necessary.
And I told you I ain't gonna eat with that in my mouth.
Well, I'm going to have to talk to Dr. Shu because we'll see what he says.
Talking about whether something, appliance, should be in his mouth, out of his mouth. It sounds like he's not sure, you're not sure.
Yeah.
That's a little bit like watching television in the dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that who knows what the correct thing is. And I think you wisely said, well, I'll talk to the doctor about it, so that it's not a difference of opinion between you and him. There's an objective opinion that you both want to get. I think that's wise. It's possible that maybe he could even talk to the doctor, you know. And again, it's kind of placing him and taking care of his situation. I think probably somebody his age could actually call a nurse or a doctor and ask. Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Find out things for himself.
Avoid arguments when information is needed. Give appropriate responsibility to children.
Do I go?
Go ahead.
Dear God, bless us for this dinner tonight, and thank my mom and Miguel to actually wait for me for dinner this time. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You're funny, buddy. You're trying your darndest to make us feel guilty, bud. Sorry. It ain't gonna work.
You must see something. What is it that you see?
Well, we have not been waiting for him. If we give him a time to be home, then if we set the table, then he doesn't eat with us. And he's trying hard to make us feel guilty for not letting him eat with us. I mean, he just...
Well, I think you said, this isn't something I want to feel guilty about.
No. because I know that gets to him if he doesn't eat with us, because he enjoys it. He enjoys eating with us.
He likes to be with you.
Yeah.
He loves you.
And if he doesn't get to eat dinner with us, he was pretty upset about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a good thing that we've decided to do, that if he's not ready to eat with us, then he doesn't eat with us.
Mm-hmm. It sounds from what you've said that you didn't have to act on that too many times, that once you had a rule and he knew that you meant it, he kind of got with the program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It looks to me like you feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
That's great. Let children learn from experience whenever possible. Turn down invitations to feel guilty.
Is this mousse at the smell? What?
You put mousse when you haven't taken a shower. When your head is dirty, this is why your head is like that.
Don't, Devontae.
What?
You don't put it in your hair when it's dry. Or put it in the bathroom, please.
Have this.
Rinse your dishes and stuff. Devontae, you better not have that in your hair.
No, I have a zit on my head. How you have a big white zit?
A pimple. It's a pimple on his
Not
head.
a pimple. It's a white zit.
White zit.
Big pimple. Z. Why Z?
Well, you
It's a
better
gringo.
pop it and come do your dishes.
It's a gringo or what?
What do you see?
He likes to get our attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is little nickel and dime stuff, you know, and that's why I think the more you invite him and the more he knows how to engage you in ways, the less you're going to see of any of that, because it's not a very intense kind of thing. He's just kind of edging his way into things a little bit, and he's doing it that way because he probably doesn't know how else to do it. So some of that will just disappear. Nice humor here. I mean, I guess what I would really want to make here is a distinction between sometimes bickering is a problem because nobody's having any fun, or one person in the relationship isn't having fun because they're trying to get something done, do something. The argument is sort of pulling you down. But there also may be times when a little good-natured bickering is okay because you're just having fun. You know, is it a green spot? Is it a white spot? And give attention when children are not demanding it. Attention that is not disruptive can be fun. Don't be involved when children seek unreasonable attention.
Are you gonna vacuum?
Nah.
Yeah.
I said nah. No. No way, Jose.
Well, did you vacuum this week?
No.
So get in there and vacuum.
I said I have.
When? Let's go. Get the vacuum, and then when
Mom.
we're ready to go, you won't have to finish vacuuming.
I don't want to vacuum.
Okay, so
Fine.
tú for him and you give me the money, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
No.
How much does it say on the refrigerator?
$5. That's
Is it
good
what?
money.
Does it?
$1
Okay,
per room.
well, I'm gonna make it and
So
you
it
give me
looks like
$2.
Miguel
How many?
gets.
How much?
Well,
my money?
how many rooms are you gonna vacuum?
Oh, all house.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. That's $4 taken away.
And how much will I have?
You're not gonna do your chores. You're not gonna have the luxury of watching TV. So turn it off. Turn it off.
Like this. Wait, have my money this day.
I'm gonna throw this off.
So Miguel, he wasn't doing the job, and you said, "Hey, $4, I'll do it."
And I know he's gonna do it. He's gonna sit up and do it.
Yeah,
This is why
that
I
was
do
pretty
that.
resourceful on your part, I think. Yeah. So just setting up a little choice around, does he want to do it or not? And if he doesn't want to do it, the opportunity to do it will be gone because somebody else will have done it for pay. Yeah. Because you have the concept that you will be paying him for some work that he's doing. I mean, he's really a guy out for hire, right? He can earn the money by vacuuming. And then I think the language was, you said, I'll take away the money if he doesn't do it. But I actually think that isn't quite accurate, because it sounds like you're in the spirit of the thing where it isn't so much that you would take the money away, he would decide not to have it.
Yeah.
Because you're fully willing, apparently, to pay him for the job that he would do. And the reason I would sort of kind of clean that up a little with him is I'd like him to think about he's the one deciding whether or not this is going to happen, not you. You probably wouldn't pay for work that wasn't being done, but it's totally within his decision power. So then he doesn't have anything to fight with you about, because either he's going to do it and get paid or he's not. His decision. And so this little part in the beginning where he's kind of, well, I don't know if I want to do it, and you're kind of going back and forth a little bit, that argument would never happen, really, because either he's going to decide he's going to work for pay or he isn't.
On the part with when he's watching TV, did I do that correctly about if he's not going to do his chores, then he doesn't have the luxury to watch TV? Is that, and then I had him turn off the TV?
Yeah, I think your thinking about it is correct in terms of it isn't time to do something else until chores or work are done. I mean, there's an order to the situation here. But again, it's not so much that you're deciding to turn off TV. It's just that by not doing what needs to happen first, he's deciding not to watch TV because there's an order to what goes on. Again, more, I think you want to place the emphasis on his decision-making progress, his sense of what needs to be done, and the consequences that he creates for himself, rather than here's what I'm going to do to you if you don't. More and more, I think he can be included in deciding what that order is. I mean, he's old enough that the two of you could figure that out. In order to keep our conflict down and have things clear and to get along well together, let's talk about the routine, and let's be sure that when we agree to it, it really is okay between the two of us. Don't agree to a bunch of stuff you're not going to do just because you feel pressured, because then I'm going to be disappointed when you don't do it. So let's talk about really what we think would both work, try it out, and then let's keep talking about it. You know, as we get some experience with it, we'll see if that really does work the way we thought it would. I think that's the kind of processing you're really after. Because in the long run, you want things to go well, not because you're telling him to do them, but because it's reasonable to be doing it. It goes well between us, and things work out that way.
Avoid power struggles by not arguing. Allow children to make choices. Act on children's choices, allowing them to experience consequences and to reconsider their decisions.
You can use these principles and skills to improve your relationships with children. Here are some of the main principles from this episode.
The best way to stop an argument is to withdraw from it. Expect the best, and it's more likely to happen. Let children experience the consequences of their decisions. Enjoy fun when it happens. Everything doesn't have to be serious.